Today, I'm simulating what it's like to dangle from a harness in a real-life dangerous situation. Just like a worker who found himself in this exact position, hanging in the air after a serious incident on a construction site. But the real question is, what does it actually feel like? And, more importantly, how can we prevent it from happening again? Construction sites are full of potential hazards, and the smallest mistake can lead to injury or even death. In this case, a worker was left dangling from his harness, facing the deadly risk of suspension trauma, also known as orthostatic intolerance. This condition occurs when a person is suspended upright in a harness, causing blood to pool in the legs. Over time, this restricts circulation to the heart and brain, leading to dizziness, fainting, or even life-threatening shock if not rescued in time. So how did this happen? Several critical errors led to the worker's dangerous position. First, the harness wasn't properly secured. Second, the anchorage point was incorrectly placed, which meant the harness couldn't absorb the load as it should. Regular safety inspections, which could have caught these issues before the incident, were missed. To make matters worse, the worker had little training in how to use the harness, which only increased the risk. This highlights an essential point. Working at heights means taking every precaution. It's not enough to just wear safety gear. Every worker must be fully trained on how to use it. Unfortunately, in this case, safety protocols were skipped in the rush to meet deadlines. The worker was left vulnerable due to shortcuts that never should have been taken. So, what could have helped in this situation? Suspension trauma relief straps. These straps are designed to allow a fallen worker to relieve the pressure on their body while hanging in a harness. By deploying these straps, the worker can create a loop to stand on, helping blood flow to return and potentially preventing serious injury or death. These straps come in pouches on either side of the harness, and every worker at heights must know how to use them. Now, this brings us to the hierarchy of controls, a critical framework for managing safety risks. PPE, such as harnesses and trauma relief straps, is essential, but it's actually the last line of defense. Let's walk through the hierarchy to understand what should be considered before relying on PPE. 1. Elimination. The best way to avoid falls is to eliminate the need to work at heights altogether. For example, using drones or telescopic tools to inspect high areas can remove the risk entirely. 2. Substitution. While less common for height-related work, you can sometimes substitute risky tasks with safer alternatives. For instance, using a mobile elevated work platform, MEWP, instead of scaffolding can provide more stability and reduce the risk of falling. 3. Engineering controls. These are physical measures that protect workers. Installing guardrails around edges or using safety nets below work areas are excellent examples of engineering controls that prevent falls before they happen. 4. Administrative controls. These involve safety training, regular inspections, and clear procedures. Workers need to be trained on fall hazards and have a clear rescue plan in place. For example, limiting the amount of time spent at heights or ensuring clear signage can reduce the chances of an accident. 5. Personal protective equipment, PPE, and here's where the harness, fall restraint, and fall arrest systems come in. PPE is crucial, but remember, it's reactive. It only works once something has already gone wrong. So, always prioritize the other controls before relying solely on PPE. In this incident, a lack of proper training for the worker's colleagues made the rescue effort even more difficult. No one on site knew what to do, and the delay increased the worker's risk. When time is critical, there's no room for confusion. A clear rescue plan and proper training are vital. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic and terrifying, with the worker himself later saying he thought it was all over as he dangled in midair. This close call could have been avoided entirely if the right precautions had been taken from the start, starting with using the correct equipment and ensuring everyone on site had the proper training. When the worker was finally brought to safety, there was a wave of relief, but also anger. Anger that this situation occurred in the first place. This incident is a stark reminder. On construction sites, safety can never be taken for granted. Regular inspections, proper training, and reliable equipment are non-negotiable. If you take anything away from this video, let it be this: everyone working at heights must be fully trained in fall protection. Suspension trauma is a real, preventable threat. With proper planning, training, and the right equipment like trauma relief straps, lives can be saved. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more tips on safety practices. It would mean a lot if you could also share this video with anyone who might benefit from it. If there are any other safety topics you'd like to see covered, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay safe out there.